All right, we are live. We are live on the internet. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon to my fellow hosts here. Good evening, wherever you're joining us from. And welcome to Code It Live. Hope you're well. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So I'm your host, Sam Basu. With me, I have my two fellow colleagues. Let's start with you, Didi.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Let's introduce you, please.
I'm a big fan, so here I participate often in the Twitch sessions with Sam, and I'm part of the Telerik UI for Xamarin and .NET MAUI team. And
Nice.
Currently, I'm in Sofia. Here the weather is sunny,
nice.
And it's afternoon.
Yeah, I can see the sun peeking through both your windows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have Todor. How are you, sir?
Hello, I'm fine. I am part of the WinForms team. Currently, in 2 months, I will have anniversary in the company with 7 years. So
nice, congratulations!
Nice.
I think next year I'm gonna hit 10 years. So I'm an old man. All right, so yeah, welcome to the stream, folks. Today is the fun day. Yesterday we talked about all things web, so we had a big release. So for those of you who already use our stuff like Telerik and Kenda UI and Fiddler and Sitefinity and all the things we make to help developers be more successful, thank you for using our stuff. If you're new to the family, welcome on board. We do 3 major releases every year and then like service packs in between. And we just had a big release last week. We like to close out the year strong with an R3 release. So all of this week, we are taking the time to break down everything that our engineering teams did for the last like 3-4 months. So we had all things web yesterday, and moving forward, it's going to be more web stuff, which is fine and cool, but like for enterprise devs, this is hardcore. This is our stuff. This is mobile and desktop, native apps, right? So that's what we'll cover today. And we have an hour and a half. We can go a little longer if need be, but we don't want to keep you for too long. But it's a lot of things to cover. Between the 3 of us, we're going to try covering all of this stuff. So let me start off to see where we are at. I'm going to move this window over and maybe share my desktop. There we go. Does that hide? Okay, I think I see us. So before we start, I'm going to paste this link in here so folks can follow along. And actually, before we start, I wanted to ask the two of you, since you are engineering, how does like this week feel as compared to the last week, which is release week? Like, are you sleeping better? Everything is shipped?
Yeah, but we are preparing for the next release, so
there you go. You're already on to the next one.
Yeah,
and that is hardcore. Okay, so folks who are just joining us, hey Hiva, good to see you. Coded chickens, yes, chickens are a thing. So that URL is the one that we're going to start off talking about. Okay, so for all the things we did in the R3 release, if you go out to Telerik.com or blogs.telerik.com, it's likely going to be featured up here, so you can start there. So like I said, this week we are just kind of spending the time to break down the release of all the things we did. So this is a long post that actually talks about the breakdown across all the different products for .NET and for JavaScript. And if you scroll all the way down, you're going to notice that not all of you are on Twitch, not all of you are on social media. So we are trying to come to you however you are. So next week, actually, let me see if I can find this up here somewhere. So here are the webinars. We're also doing release webinars. That's next week, where we will do one for Telerik, one for Kenda UI, and maybe one for React, one for Angular. So come and join us for the webinars if that's your thing. But this is where we're going to start. This is the one that shows you the breakdown across like what's changed, what's new across all the different products, right? So between the three of us, we are going to try to break it down. Yep, and our good friends Cindy is here in the chat room. Hey, Cindy. Yes, webinar, that's what Eva is talking about. Dan Siegel is here. Dan, I actually had something to show you, so hopefully you hang around. We are actually using Prism 8. That might make you happy. So Dan is the one of the maintainers of Prism. Yeah, social media these days, it can actually lead to some stress. So I actually know people who have been like so much into social media have just kind of taken a step back and just working through life as it unfolds. Yeah, Dan does a happy dance. I like that. All right, so let's start and let's kind of start breaking it down. You are looking at my desktop for now, but I'm going to let Didi and Todor drive in just a minute. But let's start with the web stuff is just boring, right? Which is fine. It's ubiquitous. We get it. The web is cool, but desktop and mobile. Let's start with mobile because like Didi and me work on the mobile space more. So what's happening with mobile? If you are a .NET developer, then you are excited about some of the things that are happening, hopefully. A lot of love being poured into Xamarin still. And that maintenance window of Xamarin Forms is evolving, but that's another 2 years out. So you're fine starting up in Xamarin, absolutely fine. And the migration path is going to be super easy to .NET MAUI, but we are invested in both. So what this post is nice is the fact that it links out all the releases. So you can click right here. That's going to show you all the things that are in the MAUI release and Xamarin and WinUI and WPF. So we're going to start with mobile first. So me and Didi are going to talk about MAUI and Xamarin. Then we're going to hand it off to Todor to talk about WinForms. And I'll come back to talk about WinUI and WPF. So Dan, I don't want to hold your breath, but the WinUI app, one of the sample applications we made. So it might be a while before I show that off, but that's made with Prism. So let's talk about MAUI here. This is something we are excited about, clearly. That's actually a nice graphic. I don't know, Didi, if you saw this. Like, I might reuse that. So that's our .NET Ninja flying around with, or waiting for the MAUI parachute guy to land. And so, folks, if you're catching up, so with .NET 6 release in November, you're going to have, .NET 6 right now is at RC1, and you're going to see some of our products already, like they work on .NET Framework, they work on MAUI Core, and they work on .NET 5, and they also work on .NET 6, the release candidate builds. So the .NET MAUI GA shipping got moved out a little bit to early next year. That's to make sure the tooling is nice and settled. So we have been busy kind of ramping up on the Telerik UI for MAUI product family, and it's ramped up pretty quickly to lots of different controls, grids, charts, just the way you expect. We have them all. So if you are interested, let me bring this up here. So maybe if I go do a preview 8, that's the latest here. Actually, this one is nice. So Scott Hunter from the .NET team wrote this up. So please give this a read. He talks about exactly what is shipping. .NET MAUI Preview 8 is out, and Visual Studio 2022 Preview 4 is out. So .NET 6 and all of the tooling will ship, but MAUI, a lot of the core pieces of MAUI will ship, but some of the tooling will just catch up. So a lot of folks, and Didi, you can correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of folks who play with .NET MAUI do so on Windows because the experience is just better, right? It's you got Visual Studio 2022 Preview 4, you got the templates, you got hot reload working. So it's actually a good story on Windows. Not many people tinker with .NET MAUI on the Mac, I being one of those rare folks. So there is a little bit of pain and some breaking changes along the way, but it's not bad if you know what you're doing. So we have been excited about this. If you want to follow along, so if I head over to telerik.com and go to the products and go to MAUI, right? See, notice the experimental tag. This is all up there for you to try around. Just hit that big try now button, and you're going to get the bits. You're going to get the sample app. So let me show you how you can get around this. And let me pull up Let me pull up the docs for it. .NET MAUI.
Yes, and also inside the documentation, you can check how to get started with Telerik
Exactly.
UI for
Exactly.
.NET MAUI.
Yep, we have the docs to help you out. Let's see if you're trying to send me in private chat. Oh, I see. So I'm going to copy that. Yep. And let's see if I can post that. So there we go. So that's the link for the docs. But anyways, this is the documentation for .NET MAUI. Kind of steps you through how to get started. Like I said, on Windows, it's super easy. It's just you get the workloads, you get the mobile workload. Now it's just a checkbox on VS 2022, and you get all the .NET MAUI bits. If you're playing around with Blazor, get the ASP.NET Web Dev as well. Building your first app, again, it's super easy on Visual Studio. On the Mac, so Visual Studio is actually using the same templates that the command line uses as well. So this is not so bad at all. So you can get started here. And I can show you this real quick. And I can show our app working on it. So let's bump this up. So if you are new, if you're just starting out, get .NET 6, please. So the best way is to go to .NET. That's going to take you to this site, and you can hit download. You can download .NET 5, which is the production version, or you can go to all .NETs, and then you see .NET 6. So get those bits, and then you can get up and running. What you can do is you can always go to .NET and then list your SDKs. Right, that's going to show you all the .NETs that you have, and it's not like .NET Framework, one giant monolithic thing. It's just a folder. So you can see, like I had the RC bits, I blew it away. This is preview 1 going back to February. The last one was preview 7, and then if you get it now, you'll get preview 8. And then you could do, let's clear this, you could do a .NET new, because that's how you start up a new project. This is the same as file new project in Visual Studio. So if I do a list, on a Mac, I get these two templates, like the .NET MAUI app and then .NET MAUI Blazor app. So MAUI and MAUI-Blazor, that's how you get started. It's super easy. So if you actually went ahead and did this, oh, Ivana is saying, can you bump up the font? Okay, I can bump up the font. Hopefully that's a little better. Yeah, that's way too much. Okay, so if you headed out to hang on. If you head out to where I was at with the Telerik bits, you hit the Try New button. What that's going to do is install Telerik UI MAUI for you, and it's real easy to get started. So here I am. It's going to be wherever you want to install it. For me, it's in my documents. It's in my progress folder, and here you can see all of the bits that I've had. Xamarin bits, whatever you install, they all stay in that folder. Here's the latest MAUI bit, which was back in August. So we're actually expecting a new release coming up soon. So we have the binaries, you have the NuGet packages right in there, and the demo app that kind of helps you play around with it. This one here still uses WinUI as a separate solution, but we are combining that with Preview 8. It's all combined into one solution now. So on a Mac, what you can do is real easy. You can actually enable this like in your settings as a startup. So you can start your terminal at whichever folder that you are on, right? So which is this one here. So I'm going to bump it up, and let's see. We want to go into that solution. Hello, MAUI. That's the folder. And then we're going to copy this line of code that I can never remember, because you do need to do the target moniker, framework moniker. So let's run it on iOS. It'll do a .NET restore anyways. So now it starts up, and it's going to do the build and create an assembly. It grabs the wildcard provisioning profile if you want to run this on your iOS device, or your Android is an easier deployment. So it grabs the default iOS simulator, which for me it's iPad Pro. You can change it to whichever one you want. We'll give it a second. And there you go. Out comes the most famous developer in the world, Gabby Atkinson, because this is our demo app here. It actually this shows you all the UI all in one page. So like, don't read too much into Yeah, Dan Siegel says I've deployed 1 or 2 apps, and on the iOS simulator.
We have a lot of controls here, like the border, the buttons, the data grids, the paths, and
absolutely. So it's all thrown in here in one page just to kind of show you. So you see the borders. This one is new, so you have this is the grid, by the way. So it doesn't do justice, obviously, because we have all the different things like filtering, sorting, all of that is done, but all you see is just a simple grid that fits in one page. This is the segmented UI control. So this is just a placeholder, doesn't have anything in it. So it's a content holder. You can put whatever you want in it. We have the checkboxes. And further down, we have, this is kind of a list view.
The items control. Yeah.
Yes, the items control. And then you have the charts and graphs, right? So lots of different types of things. And then we have the gauges, different types of gauges, linear or radial. It's all there, and the barcodes and the QR codes. I was giving our web folks a hard time, like Ed in particular yesterday, because Blazor is just getting the QR codes or the barcodes, and they don't have the QR code yet. I'm like, come over to native land, you'll have it, all of it.
Yeah, we have it.
So it's all here, just kind of shoved into a single page, so you can take a look at this. Once you're done, I have VS Code right here, so I can just do code dot. So you can actually see, like, the demo app is a part of the installation. It's just a folder for you to look around. So yeah, thank you, Apple. So this is way too big. All right, so you can see, like, everything that we just did. This is all XAML. It will be a little verbose because we are putting so much of stuff into a single page, but you have the grids, you have the borders, you have the buttons. So this one is not using MVVM or any fancy, it's just everything in one place just to kind of get you around. It does have a few view models that we use to prep up the data, but all of your UI is right there, right? So some of them are .NET MAUI handlers, some of them are in the compatibility mode. So give it a spin. And the code is right there, all of the UI is right there, and this is completely out there in the open for you to try out and work it through. So that's .NET MAUI, and you will have a better experience actually on Windows. You just like start up the solution, and then this one here, you could deploy. You can open up this WinUI 3 solution, and then it deploys on Windows just fine. We are doing the new Preview 8 thing where it's all combined. But this packages folder here, like that's this one has everything because I've done a build, but this one has the Telerik NuGet package right there, so you don't need to pull it down. So it's easy for you to do a local build and play around. So tell us what else we would like to see and tinker with the MAUI stuff. We're excited about it. I think the timelines were a little aggressive. This way we slow down and we do the right things tooling-wise to get MAUI out production ready early next year. So Didi, what am I missing out saying for MAUI?
Oh, you explained everything, and you showed the you showed the demo app, and we have the documentation and the feedback portal.
Yes. So I think that should be linked somewhere here, or maybe not. So folks, this is kind of standard for all of our stuff, right? So if you go out to feedback.telerik.com, right? It's going to resolve to a different URL, but essentially this is a way for you to tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. If you really want a UI control, or if you really want a feature, tell us right here. This is how you can drill down to per product and then create a kind of a feedback request. And our PMs, our engineering teams, look at this every single day.
Yes, everyone can share his ideas and feature requests in mind, and some controls he wants to see in some of our next releases. So please share your feedback in the feedback portal.
Absolutely.
And also in the forums. It's fine.
In the forums too, there are forum categories for each product, and MAUI is in there as well. So take a look. And again, like this post, like I said, it talks about all the things, and included in this is a post that talks about all the MAUI stuff, which is out now for you to play around with. Okay, so I can keep on going, but let's switch gears because I'm fond of MAUI, as you can tell. But Xamarin had a big release. This is Johan, who's the PM for Xamarin and Dr. MAUI. So we are looking at a bunch of new things, new barcodes, new support for day views in calendars. Let's see, lots of support with images and rich text editor. I'm excited about that. And then some of the things we do, this is something I actually really like. We have a whole suite of products called, not product, but like libraries called the DPL, Document Processing Library. It is how we work with documents within your apps. And that's a .NET Standard library. So whatever we do in terms of spreadsheet processing, Word document processing, or PDF processing, every one of our like tool sets benefits from it because you can use it from mobile, from desktop, from web, wherever. So with that, how about Didi, if you're ready, I'm going to give it to you to talk about Xamarin.
Okay.
All right. And
let's talk about Xamarin and what we have.
I see you have your desktop shared.
No. Yeah.
If it's okay for you to share.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, here is the documentation. As you know, Sam, I'm so proud with the Telerik UI for Xamarin documentation. It's constantly updated. So now for the R3 2021 official release of Telerik UI for Xamarin, as Sam mentioned, we have new features in our rich text editor control. We have the way how to insert images, how to remove images, cut, copy, paste images, and resize the image. Here is our QSF application, Telerik UI for Xamarin sample application, and you can.
Didi, can I just mention one thing before you go into the app? So that app that Didi is showing, it's part of what you will get if you just hit the Try Now button. But if you didn't want to install the bits, you can actually go to the stores, iOS or Android stores, and you can download the same application and play with it on your phone or your tablet.
Yes, you can download the app from the stores, and also you can check the code in the public GitHub repo. So here is the application. Here are the examples. Here, so many examples. Each control has examples. So the rich text editor. So I start with the rich text editor and the new feature working with images. You can insert images, as I said. You can remove, cut, copy, paste, and resize the images. There is one toolbar item, which is insert image toolbar item. And you can add images, but you have to handle the logic for the permissions to access your library and your storage on the device. And let's continue with okay, so let's start from the beginning, as I did something. Okay. When you select an image, there is an additional toolbar which gives you the options to edit the image. So you can resize the image. We can see the changes are applied. You can also cut this image. You can copy, you can paste the image, and you can remove the image from the document. This is the one feature we have, and we did an additional toolbar item, which allows you to insert images from predefined images. And this is our custom image picker demo. And here the images are emojis, so you can give some emoji for the paintball. You can see here. And how was the pool and the spa? So you can insert images. And this is one of the features we have for this release. And again,
So Didi, can I ask you two questions here?
Yes, yes.
One is, so the rich text editor, like the goal of this control is to give the developers a way to kind of let the user type in something that could be rich, like literally what it says, it's rich text, right? So think about like blogs or emails or whatever it is that you're letting them edit on the fly. And this is where we can now handle images better.
Yes.
Okay, and you said the emojis are custom emojis. So, like, could I add some images like predefined and just kind of load it up and have those available to the user?
Yes, yes.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And this an additional toolbar item we have. So, okay, this is for MAUI. Let's say Xamarin. And here inside the documentation, we have working with images section for the rich text editor. And here, toolbar items for working with images. We have this image picker toolbar item, which gives you these options.
Nice. Yeah, so folks, while we are going around, we can point you to each one of the docs, but this one here, like docs.telerik.com, that's where everything is. Right? You can drill down to whichever product that you're working on and check it out. Okay, cool. What about the calendar? I saw the calendar day view was cool.
Yes, the calendar, we have received many requests for implementing the current time indicator for the day view mode. It was available, previously it was available only for the multi-day view mode, but the people also want it in the day view mode. So now they have the current time indicator in the
day red view line.
Mode. Yes, you can see it's 5:30 almost here in Sofia. So the current time indicator for me is positioned.
Aren't you glad you're not at the dentist appointment and you're here?
Yeah. Right. And it's very easy to add the current time indicator for the day view mode. And
okay, Didi, you may want to bump up your fonts in Visual Studio, just like the zoom factor, so we can read better.
It's okay this way.
Just make it a little bit bigger, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we have the RAD calendar, and inside the day view settings, you just need to set this current time indicator visible to true. Yes.
And then you can also customize it. I think I saw it in the docs.
The day view settings, yes,
yeah,
you can
nice.
also. So.
Oh, and I see you're using VS 2022, like you're all in.
Yes, because I'm also on the MAUI.
You need VS 2022.
The Xamarin stuff. Yeah.
I saw some folks saying, "Yeah, I'm just going to uninstall VS 2019. I'm done. I'm just going to live on the cutting edge and risk it all." So we'll see. Yeah. All right. So, yeah.
And you mentioned we have a new barcode type in the two-dimensional types of barcode. We have the DataMatrix barcode type. And here, this is a new type of barcode. As I said, it's a two-dimensional type of barcode, and it's widely used in the industry for marking small parts and objects.
Interesting. Yeah, these barcodes are interesting because, like, once you get into it, and I worked on a few vertical industries where they use it, and the encoding is where all the magic is. Like, and how it's presented. Do you have readers who can kind of listen to the same language in which the barcode is encoded? So that's a big deal. I know last release we did the what was it called? The Swiss QR code.
The Swiss QR code, yes.
Which is used for payment systems, and this one is used for, I don't know exactly what it's used for.
Yes, as I said, it's used in the industry, this type of barcode.
Maybe the hardware industry, yeah. Yeah, so in the chat room here, Dan is talking about something. We have talked about this, like the whole XML namespace definition attribute. Do you know, Didi, what Dan is talking about here? In our code, I think it's just the way we bring in the namespaces, I think.
The
I remember,
namespaces here.
yeah, I remember talking about it. Like, so we have the Telerik barcode. Like that's how we bring it in from the DLL. But there is I'm completely forgetting what Dan is talking about here, because I remember bringing this up to the PMs at one point. So maybe we can circle back and I'll look up what exactly the conversation was we had. You should be able to add a single. Yeah. Yes. So let's take this up again, because I remember talking about this with Vesco, who's the team lead for Xamarin. We'll circle back and see if we can make it cleaner. So thank you, Dan. Yep.
Okay.
All right, so Xamarin is going strong. You saw me do MAUI on iOS, and I can deploy the same Xamarin app. I actually have it running right on my emulator right now. So I can do iOS, Android, and with MAUI, you get the confidence of going to Windows and Mac. Yeah, no, thank you. Dan is offering help. Community Toolkit, a few other projects set up that approach. Yeah, good to know. And the Community Toolkit, by the way, this is heavily used by Xamarin developers. It's going to be fine with Xamarin Forms, and it's just going to be migrated over to the MAUI Community Toolkit with backwards compatibility. So if you're using that, you're good to go. All right, so anything else Xamarin-wise you want to talk about, Didi?
Yes, we have one additional feature in our TabView control. We did a lot of improvements in the TabView during the release time, and we have one property you can set to the TabViewItem is visible property. So you can change the visibility of the TabViewItem, but there is one requirement, of course. Everything is in the documentation. And here in the TabViewItem, if you want to use the isVisible property, then you have not to use the isContent preserved property. So if you want to hide one item or a lot of items in the TabView, you should not use the isContent preserved property.
And can I do the isVisible thing from code, so I can programmatically hide and unhide tabs?
Yes, you can.
All right. Okay, cool. So you've heard Microsoft folks like David Ortno and James Montemagno and Gerald and everyone talk about it. If you're doing Xamarin today, keep on doing it. And you can see we are pouring in more love, more investment. I love the dark mode and the light mode switch. We have just one tab, and it switches all of our UI to dark mode because we listen to what iOS or Android is doing. So yeah, keep on doing Xamarin, and then whenever you want to, you can, whenever things are ready, you can migrate over to MAUI. And we have the sample apps, yeah, Didi?
Yes, we have the sample apps. So the Telerik To Do, ERP, CRM, and Tagit, they are also available in the stores.
Yes.
So you can also download them.
Yeah.
And they are also available in the public GitHub repo, so you can also check the code from here.
It's all open source. And so this is what I like doing. Like, I don't need to install anything. I just want to see. So I will take like my iOS or my Android device and just go to the store and search for Telerik. That shows up the sample app that you showed and those 4 apps. So everything is right there for you to play with. All right, cool.
And of course, all controls has dark mode, dark theme support. Yes.
I was on the fence because like I don't use dark mode on my mobile device. I use it on Visual Studio, so I was on the fence. But I mean, it is such a key part of accessibility these days, and in folks who really need that dark mode support, we should support it wherever possible.
I'm using dark mode support.
Oh, you do? Like on your personal device, you go dark mode?
Yes.
Interesting.
And when I switch to the light mode, oh my God.
It's like too much
It's
light.
not my phone. The feeling is like it's not my phone. So
yeah, see, you folks are different. It's like Eva in the chat room is saying dark mode all the time. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe Sam, you should also switch.
Yeah,
come to the dark side, right?
I'll consider coming to the dark side.
Yeah.
Dan is talking about, I have not seen what this issue is. to make dark mode work with .NET MAUI. I hope they will just continue what they already had in Xamarin Forms, but I don't know. So I'll have to look into what that issue is. Yeah, and please don't be like Eva. Don't look at your phone at 4 in the morning. She does social media, and she apparently turns on notifications, but she still is up at 4 a.m. So yes, you do need dark mode at 4 a.m., but don't be like Eva. Okay, so that's all the mobile stuff. I mean, look at that. We already spent like 40 minutes talking about mobile, and all the way Todor is like, this doesn't matter. It's all desktop. Desktop is where like the rubber meets the road. That's what enterprises do. So, all right. So, Didi, anything else you wanted to share on Xamarin?
On Xamarin, maybe no. Again, the feedback portal, the forums.
Feedback portal. The docs, and this is what is so key, like the developer experience, right? If somebody is struggling to implement the APIs, then we haven't done our jobs with docs. And like you can see, like Didi, like this is her child, like the docs, like she cares about it and she's so proud of it because we pour in a lot of effort to make sure the docs are good.
Yeah, and also we put a lot of effort in the KB portal, so you can find here more custom scenarios and how to achieve something with custom renderers. Because if you want to highly customize the chart control, for example, or any additional customizations to make the calendar with the same look and feel for Android and iOS, and there are custom renderers you have to use, and you can find examples in the knowledge base portal.
Interesting. Yeah, if you have like a specific question, like how do I do this with the list view or the grid, that's the place I go search. Oh, and Dan is talking about the issue with MAUI to the app theme color. It's not there in MAUI, or maybe it's not. So that's our way of kind of catching on to what the system theme is and do the switch. So interesting. Okay, all right. So that's it with mobile, right? We'll come back to it if we have more things to show. But let's switch gears to desktop. Todor, my friend, if you are ready, let's talk desktop and WinForms.
Didi, your presentation were great. And now let's switch to a more to an older technology. I'm going to show
older, but more mainstream, like enterprise stuff.
And more stable.
More stable. Oh, don't pull at that, because like the MAUI stuff, like that's the bane of our existence, like stability, yes. But we'll get there. Give us another 20 years and we'll be right there with .NET MAUI. So Todor, we don't see your, no, I actually now see your desktop. Okay, so if you're ready, I'm going to bring up your desktop. There you are.
Do you see it now?
Yes, and we see it.
So let's start with some of the things we have released in the last week. As Didi said, the WinForms R3 2021 release is now here, and
Todor,
this is hello.
Hey, yeah. So before you go on, we hear you, but just make things bigger, please.
I can.
There you go. Better.
Maximize it. Is it better now?
Yes.
So this is the WinForms desktop QSF, and we worked also on the latest .NET Preview versions compatibility, and we can confirm that we are fully compatible with it.
With we like also, .NET 6?
Yes, .NET 6.
Oh, nice.
And also the Visual Studio 2022, you can...
Very nice. See, this is the thing, like when people talk about WinForms and WPF, so I'm sorry to digress, but I was at a conference last week, okay, and I'm talking about WPF, and I named my talk, like, tell me you are old without telling me you're old. So when people talk about these things, they don't realize that like WPF and WinForms run on the latest .NETs. Like you have the upgrade assistance, so you can take your WinForms app and run it on the latest .NET 5, .NET 6, and bring in all the latest UI and APIs that you want. So that's good.
Yeah, Microsoft is investing much resources in WinForms and the WPF. So if you are a desktop fan, just use it.
Yeah.
We have also tested our controls on Windows 11, and it looks good. So we are waiting.
Wait a second. So you're saying WinForms works like seamlessly without any code changes in Windows 11?
Yeah, even the
Nice.
fancy rounded corners
The
feature
rounded corners.
is available, and there are also very nice shadows because the
Nice.
shadows of WinForms technology are not so fancy.
Yeah.
Like
And
our
that's
designers always hates them.
nice. So Windows 11 is coming when? Like October, like first, like early October, right? Is when it's coming.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Cool.
So now let's start with the new things we have released. Last few months we worked on two new controls. The first one is the taskboard, and here it is. We talked about the light and dark theme, so let's change to the dark one. And this is
Nice.
the taskboard. If you you can call it Kanban.
Kanban boards. Yeah.
Kanban board, yes. The matter doesn't the name doesn't matter, but it's all about functionality. So now you can have these columns with tasks, and
Hey,
you can manage
Todor,
your.
before you go on anymore, like, can you zoom in a little bit more? I know I see the window is maximized, but maybe your resolution is real like
Uh,
high. So maybe just lower your resolution or just kind of zoom in on certain things if you can.
I can try the magnifier
Yeah, the
tool,
magnifier will do just fine.
but I'm not sure.
Maybe just yeah, this is like one at a time, right? So maybe go to your settings and maybe just lower your resolution a little bit because you're like really high resolution. I can tell that you're on
Yes,
a nice laptop or a nice monitor.
yes, I'm using the.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 1920 by 1080. Yeah, yeah, that's
This.
the 1080p that in which we are streaming in, so that'll be nice.
So now let's try to find the demo application.
There you go, much better. Yeah. So I know it's ugly for you because you see less, but it's easier for us.
Okay. So do you see the cards better now?
Yes, yes.
Oh, this is nice. So this is the control that you can use to manage your task users, and as you can see, we've done a lot into this, but there's still a lot to do. Currently, we can yes, you can use it to visualize the progress of the task. You can collapse the columns. You can also highlight the column headers if you do not see them clearly when they are using the same column background. There is also smooth scrolling if the control is not fitting all the cards. And we can switch to the settings example, which is a bit more interesting. So here you can play with the column widths and everything else you need.
Can we drag tasks from one
Yes,
column?
this is one of the most
You have to
the
be able
coolest
to.
features. Yes, you can drag them. You have also a drag indicator, which shows you where you're going to drop the tasks.
Nice.
And there are a lot of features, like you can also add new cards and customize them using an event. You can also change the highlight color of the cards. For example, we can change this to, let's say, red and a more contrast color. And this is the first card. We can also put it on another position, top, bottom, left, or right, and play with the thickness of this accent color. let's put it a bit wider. So this is one of the this everyone can put this indicator where he needs, and that's all.
Yeah. So if you have users who are used to like Trello or Kanban on the web,
Yes.
and they're asking for a desktop app, like just throw this in your WinForms application.
Yeah, also I forgot to tell about you can manage your users, you can put your tasks and also subtasks which are indicated here, that only one of 3 tasks is currently completed.
Yeah.
And
This is not easy. Like there are so many pieces that takes to make a Kanban board.
yes, it looks like a simple one control, but when you start to implement it, you see how complex this
The
is.
APIs are. Well, I mean, the complexity is because you're trying to do something complex. Like we try to make the APIs very simple and consistent.
Yeah. So
All
the second new control we added this release is the FilterView control, which makes your here we can go to the light theme, so it looks a bit
There you go. So much
lighter.
better.
Yes, it makes filtering very easy, and for example, you can filter. It has an integration with our data controls. For example, this is our RadPageView, and you can associate it with it and smoothly filter the data. So here I want to only to change to filter the first name where is George, and also here at the top we can see the current filter. But here I need to mention that our data controls, the WinForms data controls, use filter descriptors, and the FilterView control also uses the same collection as the same type, and it builds the filter descriptors for the grid. It can also work with no problem with our list view, the tree view control, and so on.
Cool. So if I'm understanding this right, so this filter view, is it like a component we can throw on top of other components like a list or a grid?
Oh yes, you can use it in combination with any of these controls. As you can see, it looks like all of the modern shopping sites and applications which allow filtering the data very easily.
Okay, and like when you filter by names, like so you need to use the filter view and data bind it to the same collection, and then it's going to come up with these like custom filters, like the names. Yeah.
Yes, you can also just associate it to the RadPageView control, and it will automatically get its data source and get the data from it.
Yes.
You can also associate it to a separate data source and just use the filter descriptions or use the filter expressions for filtering.
Nice.
So let's go to the third big feature, which is not a new control, but it is.
Oh, and your the font sizes became very small again. Maybe it's the app, or maybe it's your resolution, or maybe you can zoom in if you need to.
No, I can try to lower my resolution.
You're already pretty low.
I'm not sure why this is so small.
Yeah, I mean, Windows and DPIs have always had issues.
Oh yes. And currently, do I need to try to lower the resolution or just make it
Yeah, maybe just zoom in a little bit more. Yeah.
Put this 125%. So is it now better?
This one, no, I didn't quite update as big, but I mean we can follow. Yeah, go ahead.
So the third biggest feature we have introduced is the the page view navigation view, where we have added option to group the pages into the pages subpages collection of some page, and also added ability to scroll this, but here we cannot scroll them because our items are not much. And yes, this was highly suggested feature by our clients, because this having many items in the page view navigation view was a problem, because people couldn't scroll them. And yes, this is one of the interesting features. You can also drag drop to reorder them. This is
nice.
Yes, also indicator when you cannot drag. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I can try to zoom. But
there you go. Yeah, here we can see it.
Yes, the indicator which shows you where you cannot
where you're dropping,
where you can drop, where you cannot drop, and yes, the drop indicator.
Nice.
And yes,
Cool. And this, by the way, folks, like same as we did on mobile, if you go to the Windows Store, you can actually find this app. So you don't need to install anything. If you just want to play around, go to the store, get the app.
Yes, we have updated also our store version. And let's go to the, we have also added a new demo about RadPanorama, which is similar to the TabView controls you may know into the similar technologies. And here you are allowed to drag, drop, and reorder your tiles. And I think this is the most interesting things we have introduced.
Is this new for WinForms?
No, the control is old, but the demo is new, and it shows how you can create custom tiles with different elements. Like these icons in the middle, are glyphs from the Telerik Web UI font. So you can use these glyphs also in your applications. So it offers a wide set of glyphs.
I see. I want to say, like, I think I saw this for WPF or maybe UWP, like 1 or 2 releases back, where like the tiles also do the flip thing. So maybe it's in WPF, and I can check on that. Maybe look at WPF.
Yeah, maybe the WPF, but I confirm this font is also available for the WPF and also the of their web teams like Kendo and so on.
Nice. Now, the thing that I like with these is, like, if you go to any of the demos that you pulled up, like any of the new ones that you just showed us, like the TaskBoard, right? So I like that we also show you the code that we used to render this right here, right? So you don't need to go to Visual Studio. You can see like how we are rendering the pages and what's the view model. It's all right there in the app.
Yes, this is very, very useful when you want to copy a piece of code from the example, or you just simply want to see how the example.
Wait, did you just say copy, like professional software developers copying code? We never do that.
Oh yeah.
It's like
so you can see
day.
the structure of the example here. It's simply by.
Todor, you can use the zooming thing at the bottom to bump up the fonts on the code. No, on the code view itself, you see that 100%.
Oh,
yeah, right there. You can bump it.
This is our syntax editor control,
Yes.
which before it we were using a web browser, which is very, very yes.
There we go.
You can, I suppose you can see it. You can see it better.
Yeah.
And that's all. If you want, we can create a sample piece of code with using our FilterView control, but I'm not sure if we have enough time.
No, I mean, go for it. If it's quick, go for it.
Yes, we can be quick. I'm not sure how it's gonna act on. So I have prepared a sample FilterView control drag on the form. A grid. Every application needs a grid to display the data, and in the top, as our example shows, it's a rad label which will display the filter. So when we go to see the code, so here I missed to say that you can change your default theme by setting a setting in the app config file. So here we have set the Fluent theme to be the default one.
Yeah, see, this is nice because when well, I will talk about WinUI, like when the latest Windows desktop stack tries to sell you on Fluent material design, we're like, it's right there. You can do Fluent on WinForms or WPF if you want.
Yes. So now we can change it to Office, our most modern themes of Office. For example, the Office 2019 Dark, and now we have. I need to restart the designer. So now the
There we go.
designer is using this the 2090 dark form. So now we can, as we said earlier, we can just copy the data from this example just by going to the C# tab, and just copy the data, so we do not mess with the data. Just paste it here, and now namespace. Do you see it clearly? Because I have zoomed it a bit.
No, yeah, we see it.
And now just the data source to the grid to this new piece of code. And then, as we said earlier, the filter view associated control can be set very
Oh, I
easily.
see what you're doing. So you're pointing the filter view to the grid.
Yes, now the associated control, and now it will extract the data from the grid view. And now if we run the application, we can see, and it will automatically filter the grid view control. Yes, it is here. This is the Office 2019 dark theme, and now if we filter by
Nice.
first name and then by last name, it is gonna be filtered easily. As you can see here, the names are not very easily very readable, so we can change them very easily by subscribing to the event of the category created event of RadFilterView. Creating event. And now we can simply set the name.
So when the filter view finds the corresponding data source and it's trying to create a category, that's when this event is fired.
Yes, this event is also here in this event. You can also change the category to a custom one.
Sure.
So here we need to use the property name. If it equals, for example, ID, we can not example, first name, or I'm not sure how was the. Here we
First
can
name,
copy it.
yeah.
Yeah, we can say that we want to change this to something more readable. So set the display name to first name with an interval, and also we can make it be a single selection, but for this purpose we need to cast it to the appropriate type, because this is the base category, as you can see, the base data filter view, and here we need to cast it to filter view text category element. Maybe cast it. So here we can set multi-select true, and now we can select. We can we can select only one first name in the list. First we select George, then Bruce, and so on.
Mm-hmm. This is nice because you can really throw this filter view on any kind of aggregate data source that you have, like be it a grid, be it a list view, and
Yes.
it will do some filtering.
Yes, you can also here you can see that this is the merit field, which is Boolean. It is also
Boolean.
Single selection, and if you choose
Right.
one option, the other is automatically unchecked. And I think we can finish with this. We can also show more customizations, but I think that if you are interested in this, you can play with it and also review the documentation.
Yeah. And could the associated control for the filter view be like a chart or a graph?
You can it is not associated out of the box, but you can set it as a data source and extract the expression from it and filter the data.
Okay. Yeah, because like the UI for the filter view looks real nice. So somebody might want to just filter down the data, grab the expression, and then feed that to filter the grid or the chart or graph.
Yes.
Cool. All right, people. Here you have it. WinForms going strong, running on .NET 6, running on VS 2022, and I do demos where I bring in like Blazor running inside of a web view inside of WinForms. So you can do whatever your heart desires, and WinForms is super productive. All right, cool. So Todor, anything else you wanted to talk about on WinForms before we do the last two?
Currently, this is what I wanted to share with you. Next time, more.
All right, very cool, very cool. Yeah, chat room. Let us know if you have any questions, and you can see some of the Nightbot things going on. We have release webinars next week, and you can catch us all of this week as we kind of unpack all the cool things that we had in this release. Okay, switch of gears. Okay. Let me move this window over again so I can share screen, and you might have to hold on to your seats because I'm about to bring up my VM. There you go. Share screen. All right. We are up. Okay, so we started with this, right? We started with the mobile stuff, which is here. We talked about MAUI, we talked about Xamarin, and on the desktop side, we talked about WinForms. So what's left is WinUI and WPF, and we're not even talking about some of the productivity tools, which we'll try to do another time because we have reporting solution, we have testing, we have mocking, all the different things. But even like this, you can see it takes us more than like 1.5 hours to go through this. Let's talk about WinUI and WPF, right? So again, click on that little link, and that's going to show you all the things that are cool and happening with WinUI, which is right here. This is Kalin Todorov, who's the lead. Kalin does a whole bunch of things with XAML. He's been with us for a long, long time as well. And hey, Silverlight is still good to go if you have not still migrated off. Let's see, chat room. Why are you saying, uh-oh, Raptimay? Don't scare me. Your stream is up. So let me know if there's something you're not seeing. But looks like it's up. Looks like we're good. Okay. So let's talk about WinUI, okay? This is the 0.5 release, which means like this is our 0.5. It's got nothing to do with, all good on this side. Okay, good. This has got nothing to do with WinUI versioning. You can actually run this on 0.5 and 0.8 preview. If that's what you're doing, that's fine too. So a lot of different very cool things. This is a suite that ramped up really quickly because we know XAML. We know how to render UI on top of XAML. So the WinUI suite has really ramped up to, I think, I don't know, a number like 30, 40 controls really quickly. So a lot of good things in here, masked inputs, maps, expanders. So I'm going to do the thing, which is bring up Parallels, which is how I run Windows. I do have Windows on a different box under my desk, but I prefer to keep it on a VM because then I can actually take my laptop wherever I go and still have Windows with me. So I'm not as cool as Todor or Didi. I'm not running Windows 11. I'm not running. Well, I do have. I had Visual Studio 2022, which I actually took down, and I want to bring it back. But all of this stuff runs on VS 2019 as well, and you can go to the preview versions of VS 2019 if you want. For you to get started, head over to Telerik.com and go into the products, and this is all the desktop stuff. Todor talked about WinForms. This is WinUI. Still has the new badge because it is new. These are some of the heaviest hitting controls: the grids, the charts, the gauges, the barcodes. But we have a lot more. Here's the list of all the different editors, all the different data visualization controls, which takes a lot of work. Interactive stuff, navigation. This hub tile is the one that I had in mind. So Todor, I can try showing it off. So here is WinUI. So let me pull up Visual Studio. If you hit the try now button here, or unless you already have it, then you can sign in and you can find it in your downloads. But if you hit the try now, it's going to give you the bits. It's going to give you the demo app that I'm trying to show you.
And
yes.
Sam, there is one magic button inside the product page, launch
There is
demos.
a magic button.
Scroll a little bit up. No.
Oh, up.
Up, yes. And
launch
here,
demos.
Launch demos, yes. It's.
Oh, I see. So that takes you to the demo site.
It's the magic button, yeah.
It's the magic button. Okay, well, I can't do the magic if I'm on a Mac because I can't run WinUI on a Mac yet. But yeah, that's how you can run it real quick. And actually, I don't know if Dan is still here with us, but we made a whole new app because we have the solution app anyways, but this new CRM app, we had a CRM for WPF, and CRM apps are kind of like the classic, or like an ERP app, which is it takes so much to make a dashboard with all the different charts and the grids. So this is a brand new app written with all of the WinUI controls. Like, look at the number of things it's using: grids, charts, maps, DataBar, Sparklines, all of it written with Prism 8. And you can try out the thing right here with that link. Which let me go to it because I don't think I actually have it installed. So right there, I can grab the URL and I can just fire it up. So back on Windows, I'm going to load up this project and show you what this is. Sure, go ahead. It probably does a little read write to the local file, so it needs you to be in admin mode, which is fine. And now it's coming back. So while Visual Studio is doing that, let me show you what I'm pulling up. So when you do the install, it gets all the bits. And if I go here to my C, program files, and progress, you can see like I have stuff listed out here. Can I zoom? Yeah, there we go. So you can see all of my WinUI previews right here. So you want to look at the last one, which is 0.5. And in there are, again, just the binaries and the example. So the example is the one that I'm showing you. It has app inside of it. And actually, what's interesting is you'll notice if I go inside of it, it actually has two solutions. So it has a WinUI solution and it has a desktop solution because WinUI works on both UWP and Win32. So if you do the desktop, that's going to run it on .NET 5 still. I don't think it's .NET 6 runtime yet, but you can run it either as straight up .NET native or you can run it in UWP. Dan Siegel is still here. Hey, Dan, good to have you around. If you're using Prism Uno WinUI package, then I have to check. I think it's just the default Prism 8. I don't know if it's the
I also think it's the default.
Yeah.
It's not the Uno package.
Yeah, what does the Uno package do? Because isn't that just for Uno platform? Because like that doesn't have anything WinUI specific, is there? Because like we're using Prism like as an MVVM framework. It's not tied to any particular UI stack, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the project. So I can go into my references, and you can see it's using all of the usual stuff, right? So all of the Telerik libraries are here, and all of the Microsoft Project Reunion stuff is here, and Universal Platform is right here. So I can dive into any of that code if I wanted to. All of the examples are here, but let's fire this up first. Start. Now, this is the UWP version, like I said, but you can run it on desktop as well. Dan is saying we have a UNA package, and then the only way you should be able to use WinUI app with Prism is with... Really? Okay, well... well, then I don't know. We have magically found a way to use the default Prism libraries then. I can look through some code and see what we're doing. All right, so this thing is starting up. There you go. So this is the sample app for WinUI. And again, just like what Todor showed you, it has all of the UI all right there. This is a beautiful app, and it's so fluid and so like fluent with the material design. And one thing we do is like anything that's new, it's kind of marked right there with the new label, so you can see it. So this one's new. This is the DataBar. So essentially, it is plotting little pieces of like a bar horizontally to show you like a range of things, and you can customize it. So that's real nice. Expander, I love this because it's just a way for you to put whatever. It's a container control, so you can put whatever inside of it, and then the whole thing just collapses or expands, right? Like what it says. But if I go back here into, let's see, DataBar. No, I wanted to go into Expander. The customization, you can control like what that looks like, which way it expands, up, down. Like maybe you're doing it within one of those Kanban boards, then you may want to do it left or right, right? And then where things are aligned, so you can do that. The gauges are there. Oh, the map thing is pretty nice. So look at the number of demos we already have. So from the get-go, it's very basic. So you can choose your mapping provider. I think it's Bing and a few more other ones. But here's the map, and then it's also customizable, I think. So it can move around based on where you want it to focus on, and you can layer on a whole lot of things to this. So let me see if I can show you the multiple layers here. So this one here is an example where like you see the kind of the satellite view, and then we have layered on something else on top of it to maybe show you whatever routes or whatever else that you're having. And it'll do, so what we are doing is like we are using the maps from any provider that you want to get, but on top of it is the stuff that's easy for you to do. So if you are building WinUI apps where you want to show directions, we can do that again in a nice customizable UI. We can go, let's say Bing was your provider, right? So we can go to Bing, given point A and point B, get the directions back out and let you plot right on top of it. Without you having to do anything, we can pull all of that for you. And Didi, at any point, feel free to chime in because I might miss saying some things here. Data binding should be binding to, oh, well, these are like different types of points you're binding to. And the map obviously moves because it is a mapping solution, right? And again, just like the WinForms application, the code that we use is right here. This one doesn't have the nifty zooming thing, so you can I can zoom in a little bit for you. So you can see like the XAML is right here, the code behind is right here, the collection of points is right here. So this is pretty nice. So points of collection, I think this one will just go through and just mark the lat longs. Let's see if points of interest, zooming range. At some point, like we are putting those pointers on the map, which I'm trying to find where we are doing it. The lat longs. Somewhere here, we are binding some things to show the text block. There's a visualization layer.
It's a great solution to check the code, so you can go through all the code.
Yeah, there is quite a bit here. So I'm not exactly finding where the mapping points are, but it's somewhere here in those like 4 or 5 files that we're using. This one's new, and this one maybe was due on WinUI because we do this all the time. This is a masked input. We have had this like for ages on, WPF or WinForms, it's a masked input. So like if you have somebody entering a phone number or like a social security number, this is your way to make sure they are formatted the right way, and so on. Like or like any type of currency, it'll do anything under the sun to have you provide those masks. This one I really like. This is the RadialMenu. Like this is where the modern UI stack can really shine so nicely. So this one says right click and I will show you a menu. So imagine your app having a context menu, which people can trigger by right click or like tap and hold, whatever you want. So if I right click here, you see that menu come up, and like I can go into any level of detail to have as many things I want in my menu and have it completely customizable. So I think if I go back here to the RadialMenu, customization, just look how beautiful this UX is. I just love it. And you can change out the colors, you can change out how they focus in and out, and what are the things you're data binding to. It's all right there. You can control the radius, you can control the start angle, and so on. So if I move this around, you can see how it changes. We also have Sparklines, which are kind of like, these are kind of low key visual controls. So you don't have to use it like in a full-on chart and a graph. This is something you can embed within other controls. Like I think this one's a data grid. So it's really lightweight and it's careful as to how it's rendering. It's a Sparkline. And this one actually is also using some of the new data bars that we looked at. So it's all right there to kind of play around with. I haven't seen the customization actually. Let's see what it does. Oh, it actually changes like how, which point markers you want to have, what type of stroke you want to have, the highs and the lows and everything. So you can really customize this. And this is all exposed through an API, so you can. More updates to spread processing and word processing, because the underlying document processing libraries have been updated. So we kind of did all of the benefit from the things that were new. So I don't want to waste time kind of going into this, but all of this control and the examples are right here. As you can see, like all of the examples are right here, right? So if you wanted to go look at the map examples, you have like the first look, the data binding, the routing, it's all right there. You can open this up in Visual Studio, or you can just run the app and look at the code and look at the 4 or 5 files that we looked at that make up that particular view of that app. Okay. If I go back here to and the CRM app, you can run that too, which I can try running if you have a little time. So let me see if I'm missing out saying something. The masked input has the date time. Didi, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. So the time span, numeric standard. Oh, you can do regex. So you can do regular expressions to your heart's content and let the user make sure the user is typing to that IP, email address. Mapping control, mapping sources. This is what I was talking about, the Bing map source or OpenStreetMap. So those are the providers you can use. Pan and zoom, navigation. These are some like mapping specific things that I'm not even sure what those things mean. KML data, probably like a standard that you can import. Expander, we looked at that. You can control how things collapse and expand. The click mode, animations, icon, you can do that. DataBar, like I said, this is actually a small-sized information graphic, so it's not as heavy-handed as like a full-on chart, so it can repeat itself many times over without getting bogged down. Tooltip support, all of that is there. Sparklines have indicators, different types of accesses, different types of visualization types, line, scatter point, area, column. That's the RadialMenu that we talked about. Just so nice. And this is again to Dan's point. The thing is, like whenever you have a complex app that you're trying to write, you will like to separate your UI from your business logic because it gets too complicated quickly. So this is where MVVM design patterns help, and you can see that we're using Prism for the CRM, which I'm yet to check exactly which Prism version we are using. But this one already has all of the UI components support commands, because that's what we have to do. So if you look at like a simple example of what this does, for example, if you wanted to have maybe a list view that's bound to a collection of items, and this is your collection of items. It's just a bunch of strings here, but then you can have those custom commands, delegate, like that's your command, and then you can have any number of events that are matching that arrays and have the commands come in and do the event handling. So you can see like the Telerik core is what is powering the event system for all of the UI. So it's not tied to just the list view or just a button. It's there for every UI, and you can bind it to a command. You can bind to a certain event, which is the point request, and you can actually suppress or let the event bubble all the way up if you wanted to. And you can send in parameters. So here, again, Telerik core event binding, we can see that we are subscribing to that event, and also like when the user clicks on something, you can bubble up what the thing is. So your code is nicely separated out, so that the commands do their own thing, and they know what is it that's being sent up from the UI. So all of that is built in for every part of the UI. Okay, so I think that's with WinUI. So go run WinUI the way you want to. 0.5 had a go live license. So let me go look this up real quick. So I think there is no go live license on the preview 8, because that's like really it's still in preview. But I want to say, like, if you want to do project Reunion 0.5, that definitely had a go live license. So people are building production apps with that, and we'll work with that. If you want to stay on the leading edge with preview 8, you can do that too. All right. What else? What else? Let's see. Oh, we have to cover WPF, but I'm tempted here to try this out, see what we're using. Do you know, Didi, offhand where the code might be for the CRM app? Is it open source?
No, I'm not familiar.
Okay.
So I have tried to install the app, but maybe something on my machine I couldn't.
Okay. Well, why don't we wait on that? So let me cover WPF real quick, and then we'll try to see if I can get to that, because I haven't. I had the older CRM app for like WPF. I have not run it for WinUI. But real quick, this is Visual Studio. I'm going to get out of here. What I was trying to show you was, if you go out to the Microsoft Store, right, and you want to be signed in, because otherwise it won't find your stuff. So if I do a search, come on, there you go. So if I search for Telerik, this is where you see all the stuff, right? That's the WinForms example that Todor showed you. You don't need to have it downloaded and running in Visual Studio. You can just run it from the store. That's the WPF app. You have the UWP and the Xamarin demo app here as well, and the CRM app and other things are there too. So WPF app, like, it's going to show you, like, that's the app that you have in the store, which I already have. So I'm going to pull this thing up. So this is the sample app that we have for WPF, and I'm going to zoom in as we need to show you the stuff. But both WinForms and WPF, they have, Todor, how many controls do we have in the WinForms suite? Do you know offhand? 150 plus?
Something like that.
Something like that.
140.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we have to understand, like, these things have been there. So it has had 15 years of engineering investment. So it's hard to compare something else to like WPF or like WinForms, because it's just been getting so much of love over the years. So WPF has 140 plus controls, and all of it is right here for you to play around with. What's new here? And I think I want to say the WinUI suite, or I mean, I know for sure like the Xamarin suite has it, because like this is very common for mobile apps. Didi, am I right? Like the badges?
Yeah, we have the badges, the last release, R2 2021.
Yeah, because this
is one of my favorite controls.
It is so nice. It is so nice. Yeah. Very common for mobile app scenarios, but again, for desktop, you might want to light up the same things. So this is the badge, right? So you see those little badges next to people's faces. So that's the badge we're talking about, and it is customizable. So you can make this whatever you want. And if I go in here, here's the configurator. So this might be hard to see. So you see that little badge here. you can change what the badge is and also where things are positioned. So let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. So here's the position, like, is it on the left or on the right? You see how it switches. Or is it on the bottom or on the top? You can change that. The badge type, these are some of the defaults, right? You can do a do not disturb badge. You can do like a rejected or offline, whatever it is that you want. But then if you come down to content only, then you're opening it up to your own thing, right? So custom geometry, you can make it a rectangle, although it might look a little weird, but hey, power to you. And cloud, oval, whatever shape you want. This is the actual content. So if I want my badge to read Sam, I can make it Sam. I can change the background color to whatever I want. So it's your thing, right? So make the badge whatever your app needs. And it's fully customizable. Everything that you see here in the configurator are essentially APIs. So you can enable, disable things. You can set these things from code and then be done with it. Now this one here, Didi, I don't know if you can help here, but this is complex, and I don't know if I understand everything that's under the covers here. So this is something called an expression parser, and we had wanted to do like link type expression kind of evaluation of the expressions without having the UI. So this lets you do that, and I'm not entirely sure exactly how we pull it off, but if I go to the, let's see, WPF solution, I think it's linked somewhere here. So you'll see like the expression editors that we are doing. So this one here, no, Didi, were you saying something?
No, I'm just looking at the code.
Okay. Oh, and chat room is here. Hold on. Fullschnabel, hello. By the way, many years ago, I wrote some shaders for WPF, but was rather limited. Shaders. Do you know, Didi? Because I don't have an answer for that.
No, I'm afraid. I'm not prepared for this question.
Yeah. Let me ask, Fullschnabel, you're going to see us on stream like throughout this week. I'm going to ask our team lead for WPF and see if I can get you an answer on what version of HLSL can I use with WPF. I have no idea. Sorry, but I'll try to find out for you. Okay. But here's the thing I was talking about with the expression parsers. So apparently you can grab things that are data bound and do some evaluations on it and dynamically, and that's a Lambda expression, and then you get to use the evaluated expression somewhere else. And yeah, let me just say, I also don't understand everything that's going on here, but this is a lot. So you can check out the documentation here on exactly what the expression editors are. We have an overview that talks about like how to work with link expressions. So essentially, it's all of it is without any GUI. Essentially, it's just again kind of what the associated control was, and it's taking the data source from some other control and evaluating functions and constants and lambdas. So I don't understand all of it. It's very complex. I'm a simple developer. This is really complex stuff. So I'm going to point you to the docs, but we have had a request for doing this expression parsing without the GUI, and now we have it. Bruce Lane. Okay, I don't follow. What's that? Are you trying to show us code? Maybe I just don't follow at all. Okay. But anyways, the WPF stuff, take a look at this. If I go to explore all the controls. Hold on. There's one thing I wanted to show you. Let's go to any control, like the grid view, maybe. Yeah, so this is a grid view, right? So this little thing is new. You see that in the theme, you can choose from all things Fluent and Material and Design and Office and Visual Studio. This new thing is, if you're particularly building things that are accessible, this is a high contrast theme that's also Office power. So you can see like everything is super high contrast, including like any like scroll bars, and all of the UI is going to be like really high contrast. So you can see, I think one of the scroll bars here. No, not this one, but you can see like how everything is like explicitly very high contrast. Let me see if I can show. anything that is navigation view. That's not a good example. Maybe a docking, but I mean, you get the idea. For every one of these things, you can switch the theme, and let's go back to the grid view. For all of these things, like we have had Office 2019 themes, which is nice, and it's nice palette. Office 2019 dark, and Todor showed you the dark one. This is the gray one, so it's a little less dark. We have had Fluent dark materials. So all of those Office themes are right there, as well as some of the Vista themes or summer themes. All of those things are just a theme. It's just like one setting, and the whole UI changes. So play around with those themes if you need to, and then if you hit the Explore All controls, now you see like the whole 140 controls, and this is not doing justice. Like each one of the charts has probably a dozen different types of charts that are inside of it. So yeah, take a look at all things WPF. Like I said, it's very, very mature because it does a lot of things. It's had a lot of investments. Chat room, I used this in the good old days. Shader effect. Apparently the doc says PS3 is supported. I still have no idea what you're talking about, but I trust your work.
Yes, Sam, I found in the Telerik WPF documentation about this shader effect, and I post a link in the private chat. You can paste it in the chat. Yeah.
Interesting. See, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I will happily post. Interesting. Rad transitions with custom transitions and shadow effects. Okay.
But the version is not mentioned in the doc, so we will definitely have to check this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan, you can chart your way through the need for charts. Yeah, there are lots of charts. We do charts, so we love our charts. Okay, we are well over time. But since Dan was hanging out with us, let me see if I can get this to work quickly and see what it is that we are using. So if I grab that CRM, get the app, where is it taking me? It's, yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah, okay. Oh, so they're actually getting it from the store, or no, it's a custom installer. It is a trusted app, so maybe we already have it in the store. But this won't show us the code, would it?
Okay, on your virtual machine, you can install the app. On my physical machine, I cannot.
See?
maybe I will switch on Mac.
So this thing, like with a virtual machine, like if I screw up, I just like delete the whole virtual machine and I restart. Okay, so this is the CRM. Look at that, beautiful. And I think this supports dark mode. Oh, there we go, right there, dark mode. Look at that. All types of UI grids. I can see charts. I can see gauges. I can see sparklines. If I go to companies, I can look around at companies. This is just like a full-on sample of what a CRM could be like. It's using those the expanders right there. Yeah. You know what? I think we might need to open up the code to figure out what it is that it's using. So I want to say the code may not be open source. So it's probably somewhere in our GitHub repos, and I can look around and see what it is using. No, you would need the VS project. Yes, Dan, I'm realizing this is just the app. So somewhere in our WPF repos on GitHub, we have the code to figure out. So I will find out for you, and I will let you know. Okay, so we are past our time, but we covered a lot, and maybe we meandered a little bit through some of the stuff, but you can see what we tried doing, like all of the mobile stuff and all of the desktop stuff, right? So mobile, we started with, where is it? With MAUI. If you want to be forward-facing and if you want to kind of ride this journey as MAUI is getting settled in, we are right there with you. We have most of the UI already. So try out Telerik UI for MAUI, .NET MAUI actually. And we by the way, we're going to rename this. Didi, I haven't told you this yet, but if you look at this, it says Telerik UI for MAUI. which we need to rename to .NET MAUI because that's the official brand name. And I had some folks at Microsoft say, hey, use .NET MAUI. I'm like, sure.
Okay, we already use as a keywords in the documentation articles.
Yeah, we just need to rename the suite to .NET MAUI because that's the official brand name. Again, if you're doing Xamarin, you heard Didi talk about how much effort we are putting into the Xamarin suite, both Xamarin iOS, Xamarin Android, and Xamarin Forms. What we have with Xamarin iOS and Android, that will just keep on working with .NET iOS and .NET Android. And then Xamarin Forms eventually will evolve. We are looking actively at the upgrade assistance and see how we can maybe reuse some of the things that are being packaged up. So there is an upgrade assistant that's in the works right now. If you're using a Xamarin Forms project, to migrate that over to MAUI. And we would like to have our stuff moved over easily. Some things are going to be really hard because like the single project application, the structure, that's really hard because everyone's going to have their stuff all over the place. But at least the DLLs, at least the stuff, the fonts or images, we can try doing something with it. And definitely our DLLs, we would like to move them over. So pick whatever you want to do on the mobile space. And on desktop, you have rich things to go along with. If you want to live on the cutting edge, again, go do WinUI. But most enterprises that I talk to, they have little reason because WPF and WinForms are so strong. And they run on the latest .NET 5, and they can do touch, they can do ink, they can do the latest web view components in them. So you can write very new and modern desktop applications with WinForms and WPF. All right.
And also stay tuned. Maybe new things for MAUI are coming.
You're teasing here. Let me bring this window back so I can look at you straight and not down on my second monitor here. So Didi is dropping cues because we might have something cooking for MAUI soon. Because the last bits we have, they work on Preview 7, and there have been some changes with the way MAUI apps are bootstrapped, because now we are going directly to how like the Blazor thing does it, right? So the MAUI program versus like the startup.cs. Dan is saying there's been a few changes. There's been a few changes. And again, if you are starting up with .NET MAUI, and if you are struggling with tooling, getting settled in, just take a deep breath. You're not the only one, okay? So the team is working actively with folks who are struggling setting up their dev environments on Visual Studio 2022 or Mac. It's all well documented now. So look around and you'll find your answers. You cannot type those things. Yeah, kid-friendly, family-friendly channel, right? Full Schnabel. You are going to get us in trouble. No, they can't do that yet. They are having a hard time as it is shipping stuff with C# because there's just a lot of things. So here's the thing. Here are the dependencies. So when I showed you MAUI, what I didn't show you was I was using Xcode. I was using Xcode beta 5, Xcode 13 beta 5, and a bunch of things you need to do to make sure your environment is even stable. So the MAUI team is really going after mass here, like C# and iOS or Android is what they're going to target. All of the other things like F#, Linux support, it's all going to come after they ship their initial bits.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so Dan, don't start a culture war here. Full Schnabel is a big VB fan. Don't do that. It's fine. It's fine. If you want to do VB, you can still do VB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we are at. I think what you see is the reality, right? A lot of people, VB devs are humans too. Yes. Yeah. There are portions of the .NET team that really want to do VB. Like I know some of them personally. In fact, I can give you names. What's her name? Kathleen Dollard, who works on the .NET Docs team. Like she is big into VB, and she keeps on pushing the teams to support VB. While the teams like WinUI and MAUI, they're like, no, we got to ship first. So yeah. Kathleen is the best. Yeah, okay, so you do know Kathleen. F# is actually, I don't know exactly where things are. So Didi, F# was welcome on Xamarin Forms for a while with, what was it called? I'm drawing a blank. There was a branch where you could do F# for Xamarin Forms. It wasn't reactive. It was called Fabulous, right? Fabulous used to let you do F# with Xamarin Forms, and it's still there, but it's a niche audience, Phil Schnabel. I'm sorry, but you are unique and you are good. The rest of the rest of us are not as smart as you are, so we keep on doing C#. So yeah, do what you need to float your boat. So native, desktop, and mobile is what we talked about, and yeah, that's a lot. We keep on pouring a lot of love in our releases, and hope it shows when you use our stuff. So we will be back tomorrow, I want to say, or maybe we are trying to see what we want to release, because like the Fiddler team hasn't actually released their bits yet, because they don't align quite exactly with Telerik and Kendo UI releases. They're a little off. But we'll be back on Thursday and Friday to talk about Kendo React and Angular. Yeah. So Ivana is confirming that we'll be back on.
Yeah.
Full channel C#. There's a normies. That's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, next week, the webinar. Yeah.
Yes. Next Wednesday is the Telerik webinar. That's going to be me and Ed Charbonneau, a couple of other folks. And then we are going to do a webinar we did not even cover reporting and testing and mocking, right? So we'll do that for the webinar. So come and join us next week. There are formal links to sign up. So head out to telerik.com. You're going to see the webinar links somewhere. All right, we talked for a long time. It's kind of getting late in the evening for you, Didi and Todor. Let me see, what time is it? Is it like 7:30?
Almost 7.
Almost 7, okay. So I know you're probably getting hungry for dinner. It's midday for me. It's lunchtime, so I'll go do that. So thank you, Didi and Todor, for your time. Big thank you to Dan for hanging out and watching us stumble through until we got to the CRM thing. So thanks for hanging out and sharing your knowledge. Full Schnabel, thanks for trolling, as always. You're the best. And everybody else in the chat room, we love you. Thanks for hanging out here. And Eva and Cindy in the back rooms, thanks for hanging out with us as well. Hopefully this was a brief overview of all the things. Like, we are standing on the shoulder of giants. Like, we have the XAML team, the WPF team, the MAUI team, the Xamarin team, WinForms and WPF. It's a lot of engineers, and we are trying to showcase everything we did for the last 3-4 months all in one go. So we can't do justice to all of them, but we try. So thank you for hanging out with us, and we shall see you on the next stream. Okay, so take care and stay well. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, evening.
Yeah. Bye.